Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Wave Network and Sports Corner with the Conn Man. I am your host, the Conn Man. And this afternoon, I have with me a very special guest. He goes by the name of Marcus Coward. Marcus,
Yes,
how you doing, my brother?
I'm great, Michael. Thanks for having me on. Real
Well,
pleasure.
Marcus, I have a sports show, but every now and then, when I see something that I know can make an impact on the viewers and the community, I do what I do. And I'm so proud of what you are trying to do and what you have done. So, Marcus, for the folks who do not know about you, can you let the viewers know a little bit about your background, your grind, and your history?
Sure. So my name is Marcus Coward. I am a New Bedford native. Currently, I'm running for school committee for public schools in New Bedford. I was appointed to be a member of the New Bedford Human Rights Commission earlier this year. I've served in the Army, and I have my own podcast where I interview people to try and highlight their stories, but also to create positive news around New Bedford. It's called Wake Up New Bedford. It's on YouTube. And my mission as a young man from New Bedford is to try to inspire other young people who are my age or younger to try and lead this next generation into being more informed about the community, being more engaged and involved in what's going on about the issues, and to try and lead this generation of leaders for the city.
You know something, Marcus? That's why I wanted you on my show, because I don't know. I'm sure you are aware of the history of New Bedford and all the trials and tribulations that the former leaders had to go through. I can go back in the day. I don't know, you're too young, but I was at 12 years old. I was part of the race riots in New Bedford.
Sure.
My cousin Pocky Grace was in charge or led the Black Panther Party. And I know you're going for the school committee with his nephew, Ross Grace Jr.
Yes, sir.
And so I know a little bit about the past of the city of New Bedford and the trials and tribulations and all the leaders that have come forth before you. Jack Custodio, Manny Costa. The list goes on and on and on. It's taking too much time to go into them, but we're here to talk about you. So what can you bring to the school committee, to the city of New Bedford, and how can you draw our youth?
So I think I can bring a couple things. One, I very much plan to learn from the other people around me. And let me explain with that. So when I've talked to current students from New Bedford High, or even the superintendent or other school committee members, they made it very clear that there's a lot to this job, with understanding the budget, with understanding the school system, understanding what it means to oversee the superintendent. And so coming in with a humble mind and an ability to learn is super important. And that's something I'll pride myself on, because even with this past summer, there was something called a safe zone resolution that would essentially be a statement to say that the schools are behind the students and the families who are being impacted by ICE and the current administration, and saying that we're with you and we're going to follow all these certain guidelines that the district attorney has put out. So I've been going to school committee meetings for the better part of this year, and I saw that the whole community was behind this and was supporting this. And half of the school committee was also, but the other half who were opposed to it said for several different reasons that they were against it. But I bring this up because as a public servant, we are here to serve the best interest of the people. So if they want something for their best interest, it's not up to us to oppose them because of our own personal politics. There to understand what they want and to try and serve them the best way possible.
Okay.
And to navigate this system that we're serving them. We're school committee, we're elected officials. And so they put us in this position. We're not here to now be some kind of tyrant or to do what we want, but we're there to do what they want and to best serve them. And so that's maybe the most important thing that I'm trying to offer to the table is a fresh perspective and someone who's willing to learn. Secondly, is I'm proud of my age for two reasons. One, I am trying to be a role model for other young people who want to get involved in politics and also leadership in New Bedford, and to show them that it's possible. But along with my age, I am trying to relate to what young people are going through. I was thinking about this earlier today.
Okay.
That just in the past 10 to 15 years, okay, the goals of what students wanted to be in the workforce has drastically changed. When I was in middle school, I just referred to it as the big three. People either want to be an engineer, a doctor, or a lawyer. Then once I got to high school, it was all about STEM and computer science. But now it's all about understanding AI.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to prepare yourself for that workforce. So understanding the changing landscape of what students are going through, their expectations, and how to best prepare them for the workforce is something that I can relate to them. You know, I'm 26, and it was just a few years ago, I was in high school. I just graduated from Bristol Community College. It was only 10 years ago when I was in middle school. So for a lot of people on school committee, they haven't even gone to school in this century. And not to call them too old, obviously they
Right,
have a lot
right,
at the table and a lot of experience. But as far as for relating directly to what these students are going through, I think that that's something I can hugely bring to the table.
Now you say you can relate to the youth. What are the issues that the youth have that they bring to your attention?
So mental health is huge, and knowing how social media has affected their mental health, knowing how COVID has affected their mental health, knowing how the economy has affected their parents' ability to provide, or the economy has affected the parents' mental health, which has now trickled down to their children. For so many people my age and older, but especially for my age, people are worried about if they can afford rent, if they can afford a house, you know, the job market, all of these different stresses are indirectly impacting their children. And so their children are taking on, even with ICE, you know, I've heard so many testimonies from children saying that they're scared of getting dropped off at the bus stop and their parents not being there because they were taken by ICE. These are real fears that children are going to school with. And so these are just several of the things that children are concerned about. Not even mentioning school shootings or bullying and cyberbullying and all these. There's so many concerns that students are going through that add to their anxiety, that add to their depression, that make it hard to feel comfortable at school.
Now, Marcus, you trying to be part of the school committee. I'm sure you got to deal with a lot of issues regarding cell phones.
Yes.
Regarding a whole lot of things that our youth are going through.
Yep.
How can you, as you say, you relate to the youth, but also still go back and talk to your fellow committee members if you, which I know you win, but if you do get there, how can you like combine both? Because you got the old school and then you got the new school. Yeah. How do you think you can, I guess, assist or help in this situation?
That's a great point. And so I would say I'm a bit of a old school, traditional kind of guy when it comes to technology, for instance, okay? That I think that phones honestly are a pretty big distraction when it comes to students in school. And whether it's in class or whether it's them at lunch not talking to each other and just staring at their phone, I think that it honestly does more harm than good.
Right.
However, the younger part of me understands that having a phone on you makes you feel more comfortable, puts a lot of that anxiety at a minimum, as far as for if they need to contact their parents or whatever. I mean, students, young people now have grown up with having phones and having iPads. I got my first iPhone when I was in 8th grade. Before that, I had a Razor and these phones that weren't smartphones. And so, yeah, like a flip phone. So I grew up not having the internet in my pocket. But I can only imagine how glued to their phones they must be if at the age of 2 or 3, they're being handed iPads. And so understanding that perspective and hearing their concerns, but also knowing sometimes what's best for them from an older perspective is important. So I think the middle ground is empowering their voice, but also trying to stay a responsible adult and not just give them everything that they want, but knowing what they need.
True. Now, Marcus, you got a big election coming up November 4th. Am I correct?
I do. Yes.
Okay. Now, Marcus, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it a buck.
Please.
Because that's how I am. What is your platform and what can you provide to the school committee that the members of the now school committee haven't?
Sure. And so there's a few things that I'm running on. First and foremost, I would love to update the curriculum because I've talked to a lot of people who are in school right now, people who have just graduated, people who graduated 10 years ago, and everyone can relate to the issue of they wish they knew more financial literacy. That's one of the main things people bring up. So, and I just talked to the superintendent on Monday on a different podcast. And so there's a few ways I'd like to update the curriculum. First, with weaving in financial literacy into the math classes more so than we're doing and making that a core part of the curriculum. Also offering confidence in leadership and entrepreneurial classes. That there are so many kids who turn to social media and say, I'm going to be the next millionaire because these financial gurus or famous celebrities just say, it's easy to be famous. Right. It's not. And so if they can learn the fundamentals of what goes into running a business or what goes into doing your taxes or all of these things that people don't learn until they're 30, 40, or 50 about the fundamentals of business, I think that would be hugely appreciated and can also do loads as far as for serving them in the labor force, and also increasing and improving student engagement, whether that be more hands-on learning or whether that's just making classes and the curriculum a little bit more interesting. Because with the curriculum, there's a huge problem when it comes to students and being absent, that there's a huge attendance problem. And so if we can make school more engaging, more interesting for the kids, that just seems like a no-brainer, and things haven't been working. And so I would like to bring some fresh ideas as to how to do that, be a little bit more creative and hear suggestions from the young people instead of just going with our own ideas and trying things that just keep not working. That they have a voice, they have valuable ideas that we should listen to, and hopefully we can cater to these diverse students. We have such a diverse amount of students, so we need a diverse way of thinking and teaching as well.
Now, Marcus, I'm going to tell you something. I'm old as dirt. And I remember growing up as a youngster, and the kids who went to a vocational technical high school, we thought they were kind of dumb because they didn't have the education, or we thought they didn't have the education. But boy, were we wrong, because when you go to a vocational technical high school, you develop skills that can get you a better job and have a skill that you can learn for the rest of your life. Yeah. And so with you being, I may be stepping out of bounds, but hey, I'm old enough. I don't.
Go ahead.
If you could, or maybe I'm out of line, but if there was something where at New Bedford High School, where you can still do the financial literacy, you can do the educational part, but how about the hands-on skills that could
Yes.
propel them? Because I'm gonna tell you something, Marcus. Back in the day, I won't tell you how long ago, but it was a program that I was involved with. It was called Jobs for Bay State Graduates. And what we delved into was those individuals who didn't want to go to college, but we helped them out with resume writing, job skills. I would go out to different job sites and try to get interviews, interviewing skills, things of that nature. I don't know if you could do that, but what do you think about something like that?
I think that's a great idea. I think that traditional education, like places like New Bedford High, have really moved away from teaching trades and even basic skills. Because I'm pretty sure they did decades ago, but they've moved away from that, talking about STEM or all of these different ways the curriculum is updated, where they don't even have home economics anymore. That so many people don't even know how to cook, or just basic things that they used to teach at school, but they don't.
Exactly.
So I would love to bring that back, along with, this is a suggestion I got from someone, bringing in local either business owners or workers to show the students their specific trade. And so they can, so that could work two ways. One, they can teach them about this trade, but also show them that this thing exists, you know, something that they might have not even thought of before. So more exposure to community businesses, workers, I think would go a long way to show them that there's just not one way to succeed. It's not all just about college. You could start your own business, work in all these different fields, have a trade. There's a lot of options. And college is great, but it's not for everyone, like you said. I think that's a great idea.
You are 26 years old, but your mind is like 46. Which I think is so refreshing. That's why I wanted you on the show. That's why I'm glad you came on, because I think you have a lot to offer. And you know, my show is seen all over the country. Thank God. So you know, I want to give you the opportunity to express yourself. And you know, I think, because I'm old as dirt, but you know, I'm too old. Well, not too old, but I'm old. And I was brought up by so many great role models. And I don't know if you have the role models that we had. I'm pretty sure you don't.
No,
maybe you do, or maybe you do. I don't know.
I have a couple, but yeah, that's lacking. Absolutely, I can agree.
Yeah, correctly. So let me ask you a question. I go by the top of my head.
Go ahead, please.
So when you haven't won, but you're going to win. I guarantee you're going to win.
Fingers crossed.
When you get there, how do you think, because you have a lot of old school people, such as myself, but not me personally, that have the old ways of doing things, maybe don't want to see change, or are going to go to them school committee meetings and scream at all you guys. How, you haven't got there yet, but how do you think you will handle that when and if that occurs?
About the people who are scared of change?
Correct.
Yep. And so I was at a forum/debate earlier this week at Carney Academy, and I brought up something as far as for my age again, saying that oftentimes when I'm at these debates, at school committee meetings, at city council meetings, and I look around and I'm the only person in my 20s and sometimes even 30s. Okay. So why I keep stressing the importance of raising up this next generation of leaders, to talk about the person who's scared about change, that I'm looking 10 to 15 years in the future. And so we can't just keep having old people run the government or these decisions, because at some point they can't anymore. They're naturally going to have to move on or pass away.
Yes.
And so I am trying to advocate not for that older, I'm going to tell this to the older person, not just for you, but for your children and your grandchildren.
Right.
And so I'm trying to focus on the future of our city and of your family, and not just on the now. And I know change is scary and it's hard to adapt, especially the older we get. But that's why we need younger people who are used to adapting to this ever-changing environment and landscape in order to stay with the times and be comfortable with change and adapting. Because I mean, I can understand the older you get, the harder it is to change your regimen or schedule, or just you're more resistant to change. And so that's why we need younger people who are able to understand that and are more comfortable with change and is thinking about the future, not just next year or next term, but 10, 15 years down the future. And because it's going to be our world we're living in, our world and our kids. And sometimes I feel like the older people making these decisions are hanging on too much to the past and what worked, but not looking to the future and how we can adjust and work even better than what we're doing now.
Marcus, you sure you're 26?
I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, now getting back to what I wanted to talk about.
Please.
Now, once you get into the school committee, which I believe you will, what do you think may be the biggest roadblocks you may face?
So besides AI and response, so do you know the organization YOU in New Bedford, Youth Opportunities Unlimited?
No.
Okay, so essentially we're in the South End. We work with Bernadette Souza.
Yes, okay. Oh,
yep. Exactly.
I do know, yes.
So I just started working with them, and we work with everyone from 9 to 14-year-olds, and it is so funny because it's so refreshing to hear what these kids are actually saying. And so we were filling out this form. Okay, we're talking about signatures, actually. And some kids had done signatures before, some hadn't. And this young girl who's 10 said, well, I'm just going to ask ChatGPT to show me what a signature is. And you know what ChatGPT is?
No.
So ChatGPT is essentially AI, okay? It's an AI app that you can talk to, and it can write things for you or talk back to you. Very advanced. So if you asked it, here's my name, and can you give me 3 examples of what my signature can look like? It'll just pop it out, boom, in seconds. And so a 5th grader said that instead of thinking for themselves, I'm just going to make my own signature. Let me ask AI to do it. Okay. And so it is just, sorry, can you remind me of your question?
No, I was talking about how dealing with the kids and the situation they're going through when you're going to a school committee meeting and the parents are screaming about you to your committee about the kids and the troubles and tribulations that they're going through with the kids.
Oh, exactly. Okay, yeah. So first is AI, them depending on it so much that everyone from elementary school, middle school, high school to college are using it to make their lives easier, but not in a productive. They're not using it responsibly.
Correct.
They're using it to cheat. They're using it to cut corners, and they're using it to learn less to make life easier for them. I think that's maybe the number one thing. Besides that, and this is even a bigger challenge because it's not just our city, not just our state, but all around the country, is class sizes, which is a huge problem, especially in New Bedford High, but around the city, from public schools to elementary schools, is the large.
Correct.
And so there's a few ways to look at it. One, we can hire more teachers to spread out and have more classes. We can have more paraprofessionals, so then we can have more adults in each class so that they can focus on the students who are lagging behind. Or there's another solution I haven't even thought of, but a huge concern is the large class sizes and how these teachers are overworked, that they have so much on their plate with their own mental health, with trying to make sure these kids are learning rather than they have to try and teach. They have to try and control the classroom along with trying to notice which students are struggling and who's not, and try and advocate for them too. It's a lot. And so if we can lower the class sizes or find the money to hire more personnel to notice what students are struggling to make sure no kids are left behind. So I think it's the AI and the how heavily these students are depending on AI, everything from writing their essays to writing their signature, okay, to these large class sizes where students are falling through the cracks and are struggling, and the teachers are so overworked that they can't notice. I think those are two biggest things affecting.
That's great. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Now here I go again, stepping out of bounds.
Go ahead.
But I don't know. So I'm a sports guy. So I'm just trying to get my way around the realm of what you're doing. Now, I know for a fact there have been some issues with the mayor and the city council. How do you get along with Mayor John Mitchell, and how do you think I might be stepping out of bounds.
No, go ahead. That's what we're here for.
Hey, I'm outside looking in.
That's
how
what we're
do you
here
think
for.
you guys, once you get in, which you will get in, how do you think you're going to be able to correspond and communicate with Mayor Mitchell?
I think it all comes down to communication. Another forum I was at earlier, and the school committee, the councilors at large were asked about the budget in concerns of the school committee budget and in the school budget in general. Right. And are they aware of the budget, and how can we work together to make sure that the school is getting as much funding as possible and everything that they need? And it came out publicly that the city councilors in the school committee really have no communication at all. They don't meet. They don't really talk. They're doing two totally different things that work together. I mean, the school budget is the majority of the city budget. So how are we going to have the city council look over the budget and then not even talk to the people who are running the majority of the city's budget? So I think the communication is super important to not just know how we disagree with each other, but find ways in which we do agree and can work with each other. And that goes the same with Mayor Mitchell. That, of course, Mayor Mitchell works with the city council's office, but he also sits as a chairperson for the school committee. So
I know
if we can have that open line of communication, and not saying that this is what he does, because obviously I have to watch what I say too, but if we can make sure that our leaders are open to constructive criticism and are not ones to run away from controversy, but are willing to listen to the concerns of the people and address what they want, and not just have their own idea of what's going on, or something like, for instance, if the mayor can't do something, he shouldn't just hide from the people. Again, not saying this is what he does, but he should try to explain to people who don't understand it, because that will alleviate the stresses and anxieties of the people, and say, oh, okay, the mayor's just not doing this because he hates us, that there's a budgeting reason or whatever reason to do it. So that, again, just comes to communication, where the superintendent, I love Andrew O'Leary, great guy, very intelligent, the guy for the job, but very community oriented. That I've had him on my own personal podcast. He's been on another podcast I've hosted. He's going to community events. I see him all over the place. He's very open to talking to the people on a very human to human level. And that's what we need from our leaders, to not just be a position, but be a person. You are here to serve the public. You were elected to do this. Okay. So you are not above anyone. You work for the people. And that everyone who is an elected official needs to act like that.
True. Now, Marcus, let me ask you another question, because, again, I'm outside looking in. You know, I watch CNN, Fox, MSNBC, all this crap. Anyway, I see the left always blames the right. The right always blames the left. It seems, outside looking in, maybe the school committee blames the mayor's office, or the city council blames the mayor's office. And the mayor's office blames the city council. Sure. And they're stuck on being the way they are. Now, Marcus, once you get in, as I said, you're going to get in, especially after this show.
Thank you.
How can you bring both entities together? That's a tough question. I know.
And so I brought this up earlier, where it's not about personal politics. It's not about what you think or your opinion. you have to make decisions informed by your constituents. You serve them. So what your people want, you have to find a way to make that happen. And so I feel like all of these conflicts are coming from personal vendettas, personal conflicts with each other. Mm-hmm. So if we can take the personal out of it and say, this is a survey, this is a study, whatever, this is what my people want, and all I'm here to do is serve them, then I think we'd all be on a much better form of communication, okay, and on the same plane, on the same level, rather than all of us coming from different directions. Because we're all one city. All of us want the same thing, to be better, to be more prosperous, but it's because of the personal politics where we say, no, I'm not going to do this because I don't like this person, or this person disagreed with me before. That's not what we're here for. We're not in high school saying who's most popular, most cool. We're doing a serious job to best serve the best interest of the people who voted us in. And if that can be what's only on our mind, not what we want, but what our people want, I think that the whole city, the school committee, city council, and the mayor's office would all be on the same page.
Now, Marcus, I'm going to hit you hard on this one.
Go ahead.
Because I got to. I have so much respect for you, and I'm so proud of what you're doing and what you're going to accomplish. So I'm going to give it to you like the elders would give to me.
That's what we're here for.
You know, let's say you win on November 4th, which you will.
Oh my goodness! Knock on wood. Like, please don't jinx me. Okay.
I hope I don't. But anyway,
okay. But
let's say you get in, Marcus. Yep. You're 26 years old.
Yes,
How the hell you gonna tell me I don't have 10, 12 years on this school committee? Yep. How should I? Why? And how? Sure, this is some young buck who just 26 years old, ain't experienced nothing that I've experienced. How should I put my faith in you? And the people in the area, Marcus being 26 years old, why should I go and have faith that he's going to do what he says, or have the confidence that he can make a difference? Part one. Part two, when you being so young, how do you think the people in the school committee, city council, mayor's office are going to have the backbone to back you because you're such a young man? Ooh, that's tough.
So yeah, there's a couple parts. So first, why essentially they should respect me is, and why they think that why I would do good for the community is my record. One, I am a part of the Human Rights Commission. And so that has shown that the mayor's office and the city council's office trust me, one, but two, that I have the initiative to put myself out there and try and serve the community for total volunteer purposes. It's not like I'm paid. It's not like it's the most glamorous thing, but it's something to try and help. I don't have the solutions. I'm just one guy, but at least I'm showing that I want to help my city. Along with having served in the military and in the army, I would lay down my life for this country, for this state, for this city. And leaving the military, it gave me the sense of leaving the military finally made it click what community service means. I just thought it was a term to get volunteer hours, but no, actually serving your community is so much more than just a term or just a responsibility to get hours for a job or school, that we can't do this alone. Like, it takes a village to raise someone. It takes a city to make sure we're all good. That you can, if someone struggles, everyone needs help. To put it simply, everyone needs help, and I'm here to help. Okay. And so secondly, why they should think that I belong on the school committee is going back to me relating to young people, that yes, they have experience on their side. They understand how to balance the budget. They understand the rules of being on the school committee, Robert's Rules of Laws. Great. And they have these relationships in the community. Great. But can you put yourself in the shoes of a 12-year-old right now being bullied on Instagram? Have you been there? Do you understand how Instagram works? Do you understand all these different aspects of what it's like to be a child in 2025? A lot of people, the school committee, I'd say the average age is somewhere between 50 and 60. Okay. So, as I brought up before, the landscape of being a child has changed drastically, even the last 15 years, let alone 30.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think I could bring not just the relatability, not just my own record, but having a backbone of standing up for what's right. That's all I'm here for. I'm not here I'm looking to get into law enforcement just because I want to help people. I'm not here for money. I'm not here for a title. I'm here to think about my city's future. I'm from here. I'm New Bedford native. All I want is to protect and best serve my family and my community, which is my city. And it'll take some people looking down on me. It'll take accepting that people may think that I'm not good enough or I'm too young.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not easily scared off. That even with law enforcement, okay, to be totally honest, I'm looking to get in the sheriff's department. Down the road, I'm looking to get in the police department. But my goal with law enforcement, besides to best serve locally my city, is to bring accountability to law enforcement. And that's easier said than done. Whenever I bring it up to people and I say that if I make a mistake as a cop or if my fellow officer or my superior makes a mistake, I want to hold them accountable. People say, that's a dangerous job. You got to be careful. That's going to be hard. I know. I'm a black man in America. I know the history, right. But I want to be a part of the solution instead of being part of the problem. And so I don't want to sit on the sidelines and sit here and complain when I can do something about it. And that's going to take being tough. That's going to take not being easily deterred. Luckily, I go to church, so God is on my side, and I know what I'm here for, and I'm here for a better purpose and to help those around me. And it might be hard, but I'm not looking for it to be easy.
You know, Marcus, I got a big mouth, obviously, because I've been doing the show for so many damn years, and I'm speechless. I am so impressed and proud of what you're doing. I think it's refreshing. It's inspirational. I'm glad I got you on my show.
Thank you.
People can see and learn about you. And I'm lost for words right now. Usually I have no problem, but I'm kind of lost for now. I've asked you a whole bunch of questions.
Sure.
Now, Marcus, is there anything that maybe, Mike didn't ask me that, or maybe something that you want to convey to the viewers, the audience? Because not only this is going to New Bedford, this is going all over. You know what I mean? So I want you to first of all give you your flowers. Being at the age of 26.
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable. Anyway, I want you to give you your flowers, and I want you to let the viewers know maybe something that maybe I didn't ask, something you want to convey, some impact that you want to make on the people who are watching this.
Thank you. And thank you for this platform. It's been a joy talking to you, Michael. This has been a great platform.
Thank you.
And so 2 things that people can take away from this is, one, a vote for me means a vote to invest in young people. If you really care about young people and really care about the future of the city and the leadership, then invest in me and see if I'm all it's cracked up to be, and I'll show you and put my money where my mouth is. But in investing in your future, in the city's future, a vote for me would be a vote to make history. I would be the first elected official in New Bedford for my generation. And I want to show my generation and the generations below me that this is possible. And with that, being healthy, being in politics, being informed is cool. I'm not trying to be some stuck up, boring guy. Like, I still go out, I'm sober, but I still have fun. I'm trying to be just a regular, relatable New Bedford guy to show young people this is cool. This is something you should be a part of. And that goes into my second point with trying to inspire young people to do more. That again, when I go into these different rooms, that I'm oftentimes the only person in their 20s, either if it's at church or at school committee meetings, at city council. And so to inspire other young people to get involved in the community. And there's a lot of reasons why they're not. There's a lot of young parents. There's a lot of young people who don't think their vote or their voice matters. There's a lot of young people concerned with money and struggling. And all of that makes sense. But for the people who do have the time, I don't have kids, luckily. Luckily, I'm in a house that my family owns. And so I don't have to worry about making rent. I am advantaged, and I don't take that for granted. But I'm using my advantages to give back. I'm not just sitting here and being spoiled. No, I'm using the time I have, the resources I have in order to give back to my community. And that's the kind of role model I wish to be. And those are the kind of leaders I hope to inspire when I get older. Those are the kind of people I want to take care of me when I'm old, is people like me.
Wow. Wow. Is there is there anybody you want to give a shout out to, or anybody that you want to recognize, maybe your mentors, or because you are one of a kind, my brother. I'm letting you know you're one of a kind, and I'm so honored to have you on the show. And you're welcome on anytime you want. Your show, I checked your show. You got a great show as well.
Thank you.
And I know you're going to continue to do great things on that as well. But is there anything that I didn't ask? Anything you want to convey again? Anything?
Yeah, so maybe some mentors is, I guess, 4 people. Is Manny DeBrito, who's the chairman of the election commissioners.
Yes.
And so I straight up asked him if he could be my mentor. And he's just been there for me every time I've needed it, to explain this process, to just be a positive role model and someone to look up to, and someone I would like to be when I'm older. Okay. So many young people look up to him for the coaching, but just being a good guy. Yes. So shout out to Manny DeBrito. Good. Shout out to Sidney Murray, who is on the Human Rights Commission with me. He's not from New Bedford, but he helped get me on there. He reached out to me over social media and advocated for me on the Human Rights Commission. Cool. And I wouldn't be on the Human Rights Commission without him. So shout out to him. And we need these people who are in these positions to help the younger people.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know how to do it. So we need help, people in those positions. Give us a hand. I want to give a shout out to my dad, who's still very much in my life. And,
awesome.
Especially us Black boys, we need a good Black man in our life. We need our
absolutely.
We need our parents, moms. Shout out to you. Shout out to the grandparents. But I just thank God for my dad, that he's still here in my life and has helped me in a lot of ways. And thank you to my big brother, Tyler, who is so smart and has always given me support. And whenever I've needed him, he was there. And so, again, I've just been helped. I wouldn't be here without help, and I'm trying to help others. That's what it's all about. That's what being a community is about. Not thinking about yourself, but thinking about what you can do for others. And so I think the people who have helped me along the way, and for the other young people that I've interviewed, the other high school students, I'm here to help. Reach out to me. I'm easy to talk to, and any way I can help, I will. So
now, Mark, you said reach out to you. How about people who may not be in the New Bedford area who are watching this? How could they reach out to you?
So there's 3 ways. One, for anyone who's received a business card from me, it has my phone number on it. I could put up my phone number on there, but I may just leave it for my business card. But cool. Other than that, I have my Instagram, which I'm on every day, which I use to advertise my campaign. And if you DM me on that, I will absolutely respond same day. Reach out to me on Facebook, Facebook Messenger. That's how we've been communicating. or on my YouTube channel, leave me a comment. I read those. I read and respond to them. And so, and especially for YouTube, you don't need an account in order to watch the videos, or maybe you do to leave a comment, but it's very not invasive. And so any kind of social media, I'm there. And if you have my number, please do reach out. I would love to talk to you, hear your concerns, and have that inform my decision making. I'm here to learn, I'm here to help, and I'm here to serve.
Marcus, thank you so much for coming on my show. It's been a pleasure. It's been refreshing. It's been inspirational. And again, I want to thank you. And I'm so proud of you and what you're doing. And I know you're going to be very successful. November 4th, people. Make sure
November 4th, go out and vote. Go out and vote.
I'm going to vote. You know what I mean? Marcus, thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thank you.
May you have the best success in your life.
Thank you.
I'm going to have you on again. I can guarantee you on that.
I'm looking forward to it, Michael. I appreciate the questions and the honesty. That's what I'm here for. All right. So whenever you want me on, let me know. I'll be there.
All right, Marcus. Thank you so much. God bless.
Okay. Take
Folks,
care.
You know, sometimes when you do this show, you have an inspiration. And Marcus is 26 years old. Damn, I'm 65. And this guy has inspired me. And I could talk to him all night, but unfortunately, I got another show coming up in about 5 minutes. But anyway, I want to thank him for coming on my show. It's been an inspiration. Even though this is a sports show, sometimes, you know, with my network, they allow me to do basically what I want to do because they know my shows make an impact. And having Marcus on my show has definitely made an impact. And I wish him nothing but the best of luck. And God bless that young man. He's going to be special. People, watch out for him. He's going to be one of them guys. Watch out. Folks, thank you for tuning into Sports Wave Network and Sports Con with the Conn Man. I am your host, the Conn Man. You know, sometimes I love what I do, and shows like this make me want to do more shows like this. So thank you. You guys have a great night. Stay safe, and God bless. Thank you, Marcus.
Thanks, Michael. Till next time.